I'm Larry, this is Everybody Aquatic, and today we're going to talk about cleaning filter socks, how we clean filter socks for our clients, and how you can clean your filter socks too. So, we got our reef tank behind us. It's still dark, so we're not going to be doing any tank updates. Actually, the freshwater tank is up, but we're gonna do tank updates for probably the next video, because you are here to talk about socks. A felt filter sock is used to catch the debris and particles typically out of a reef tank, but you can use them on freshwater tanks as well, and they catch large particulate as they go into your sump that you can then take your filter sock out when it gets good and dirty and give it a good cleaning and then reuse them. That is one of the best things about filter socks, is that these are completely reusable. You usually get anywhere between 5 and 10 cleanings depending on how dirty they are and how often you clean them. So the best way to use a filter sock is every roughly 3 days to a week. You're going to want to change it out when it gets real gunked up, because over time that particulate in that filter sock will start to break down and it'll increase the nitrates in your tank, and then your filter sock's not really doing anything. The whole point of this is to export those nutrients before they turn into nitrates in your tank. So depending on the bioload of your tank, depending on how much stuff is in it, how quickly they get dirty, you're going to want to take those socks out and then you're going to want to clean them. And we're going to show you how to do that right now. It's a pretty simple process, but there's a few steps, and I have actually already done the first step. So why don't I show you where we're at right now? So when you take your filter sock out of your system, it's going to look pretty gunked up. So right now, the first step you're going to want to do is you're going to want to rinse any particulate and debris off of these things, because they can get pretty gross. I mean, look at that. That's a pretty nasty filter sock. I wouldn't want to put any of these in my tank. And the smell, let me just tell you, the smell is not good. So I used my dishwasher, which probably don't recommend to everyone, but I don't really use the dishwasher. I used it on the sanitize setting right here. So if you see that sanitize setting right there, I put them in there and just ran it on a cycle with no soap in there, just water, so that it can kill any microbial things that might be in there. If you don't want to use your dishwasher, that's totally understandable. You can just use a hose, or you can rinse them off in the sink, or just any way to get the large particulate out of those socks before we move on to our second step, which we are going to do right now. And our second step involves our washing machine. So the first thing I did with the washing machine before I put the socks in is I closed this bad boy up and I set it to rinse and spin, just to try to cycle any old soap that might be in there, because we do not want soap getting on our filter socks, because then it could get in our tank. So we've already done that. Sometimes I do it maybe 2 or even 3 times to make sure there's no bubbles left. But now we're going to move on to our next portion, which we take our pre-rinsed socks out and we're going to put them in our washing machine. Throw them in our nice clean dishwasher. Remember, we rinsed it already to make sure there's no soap in there. And now we're going to take a little bit of our bleach. We're going to close this bad boy up. And we're going to open, so that's our bleach compartment right there. And you really don't need a lot of this stuff. You really want just a little tiny bit. I'm just going to pour a little bit in there. I mean, that's a little bit. See, I didn't even fill it to the max. Just like there's a little splashing. A little bit of a splash in there. We're going to close that bad boy up. We're going to turn it on. And we're going to set it to normal. See, there's no soap in here. Just bleach. It's been cleaned. It's on normal. I like to see something there. And then we're going to run it. And now we're gonna wait. Okay, our cleaning's done. Now take a look at this. Ta-da! Oh yeah, that is much better. Nice and clean. Now you notice they didn't turn completely perfectly white again. They don't look brand new. And now this one's been cleaned a couple times and it's starting to get the pilliness. So over time that'll get worse and worse. And eventually you'll have to get new socks. But now our next step, since that I personally worry about there being bleach still in there. So what I like to do, especially because these are going into clients' tanks, not my tanks, is I will now run it again on a rinse and spin. So just quick little rinse and spin, 18 minutes with nothing added, just water. And now we run that again, and then we can let them dry out. Okay, our second rinse cycle is done. Our socks are now nice and clean. Now for the last part, we're just going to take all these socks. We're going to take them right outside. And we're just going to let them air dry. I'm going to put them right here. Let them air dry in the sun. See, this one didn't come out as white as the rest because it's older. This one too. See the pilliness? So we'll probably only get a few more washes out of these. But these other ones are good. And now we're just going to let those air dry just like that. And what that does, aside from just letting them dry, is it allows any excess bleach to kind of gas off into the air. So that if there is any, I mean, I already rinsed them, but if there is any excess bleach there, it'll just evaporate. And that's it now. We're going to leave those socks out there for about 24 to 48 hours, let them gas off and dry real good, and then they're just free to be used in a tank again. So that's how you clean socks. That's how you can save money. You can save those socks, do it over and over again. And if you like this video, you give us a like and a subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.